iDubbbz newest video, and it's a content cop on H3. You've probably already seen it or heard of it at this point. The thing dropped 7 hours ago and has 1.2 million views. I suspect this will be a rewatch also for a lot of people due to the catharsis I've heard that people go through. So this is great. If you don't know who iDubbbz is, he's a former shitlord who has been redeemed and is now a pretty cool guy. And H3 is like the opposite of that. H3 went the other way. So let's watch.
Destination, the beach is surprisingly dangerous. Consider the
fucking thing in our defense, like, actually, Hila's not a baby killer. Actually, accusing Ethan of killing his dog is maybe too far, because they have mobilized such an insane harassment group that anybody who says any fucking thing, they will attempt to ruin their lives. And once again, I'm the crazy one. It's not bad enough that
what we do here is go back.
He's such a dumb. Can we have people made GIFs of this yet? Just this? I need this. That would be a great reaction on Twitter for when someone makes a stupid fucking post. We needed this. That pink thing is something Hila's wife made and gave to iDubbbz after a collab some years back. Well, I'm glad to see that Ian's relationship with that gift is still strong. There are Easter eggs in this, which is hilarious. There he goes.
What's up, everybody? I'm Hassan Piker, and this is the Hassan broadcast coming to you live from a cloudy day here in California, Los Angeles. We're live and alive, and I hope all the boys, girls, and MBs are having a fantastic one because today's a beautiful day. I have a very important announcement. I finally done it. I watched Ethan Klein's content nuke, and I'm not going to call it context puke as I normally do because the reality of the matter is it was brilliant.
It was brilliant.
Nothing was out of context. Everything was correct. I am an Islamist, fundamentalist, radical terrorist. I am a vicious anti-Semite.
Oh, no!
True. Most important.
Oh, you hate to see people fall like this. Never meet your heroes, man. Clip it.
Ethan is more attractive than me, both physically and also mentally. I've been lying about everything, including my glasses. They're fake. He was right about that. That's not even in the content nuke. And he was right about that too. How did he know everything? How? Wake up, Ethan. Wake up, Ethan. Ethan, wake up.
Wakey, wakey, Ethan. Wake up, Ethan. Wake up. Time to be awake, Ethan. Wake up, Ethan. This is no longer a dream. This is a nightmare. Wake up.
Dude, fucking, I saw this on Twitter already, so I got spoiled. But this is excellent.
The dumb bitch is telling you to wake up.
Wake up, Ethan. Wake up. Wake up, Ethan. Ethan, wake up. Wake up. Zins, anyone?
Zins?
Wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up. Wake up, Ethan.
I'm not going to do a react content yet, chat.
And Sean, yeah.
Nobody's told you to wake up, Ethan.
Yummy, I love Sabramos.
I love it.
Ethan.
Wake up, Ethan.
Oh my god, I saw this on Twitter too, but just the screenshot of it.
I love Sabramos.
Wake up, Ethan. Wake up.
By the way, that's Hassan's mic, right? Hassan puts his mouth on that every day, all day. That's intimate. I'm just saying, that's friendship. That's nobody. I'm the only one that licks this mic, for instance. You know? None of my friends come over and deep throat my mic. What the fuck? That's kind of messed up. And you thought you were close.
Ethan. Wake up.
Feastables!
All right. I didn't plan on making a content cop on H3. It sounds very stupid even saying that.
Especially if you go back to like 2016 era. By the way, new content cop's gonna be H3. What?
H3 content cop, iDubbbz. Ethan Klein's out of control. And then you should do a content cop on Hassan Piker. Content cop on Sargon of Akkad. If I would imagine this in 2016, I would have been like, oh yeah, if I ever do
literally
that, it's gotta be because I lose the plot. Well, it turns out it's not me losing the plot, it's Ethan. He's the one who fucking attacked first.
My good fucking friends who I stood by after all these fucking years.
Bicycles!
Wish granted. Oh god. Fuck.
You know what also I hate? On the road? Buses.
What the fuck? When did we do that? I fucking forgot. We did buses.
Years can't find a spine to speak up.
So go fuck yourself.
I agree.
All right, guys, I'm going to tell you a story about Ethan Klein. I know some of you have been following him, but there's a lot of people who might not be familiar with the background, with his podcast, with what's been going on over the past couple of years. So Ethan, as you know, is a content creator who has a podcast where he says all sorts of outrageous stuff. Sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's fucked up. He's had shows with all sorts of different controversial characters. He's had a
describing it as sometimes fucked up is actually kind of a nice way of describing the H3 show at this point.
Show with Trisha Paytas. He's had a show with Hassan Piker. In doing so, he's gathered a ton of different
long hair Hassan era. Holy shit.
Audiences. Now, in his podcast with Hassan, Leftovers, they would mostly talk about surface level progressive shit and make fun of right-wingers.
And you're telling me he didn't flick their dick once at least?
Oh, that's 100 shavers. You trans women. I say, oh no!
And it was mostly that until they actually had to reckon with a very serious topic. Oof. I would say that Hassan was
episode 61. Oh my god. And look at Ethan. He just goes through weird stages of looking bad, doesn't he?
Very well equipped to talk about that topic.
Palestinian people living in the West Bank are subject to these horrific conditions, horrific living conditions by the state of Israel, America's greatest ally and the only democracy in the Middle East, if you ask Republicans and even liberals.
Well, the dance he invented was so kick-ass.
Literally the same day.
Israeli settlers are trying to evict Palestinian families in occupied East Jerusalem. The United Nations says that may be a war crime. It literally is.
I was just eating the toppings. And the pizza looked like a burn victim. It was all disgusting.
I don't know if you can make that joke in 2021.
Why?
It's insensitive to burn victims.
I think it's a good analogy. It's a powerful image.
Ethan.
Fuck. These are good clips.
Was not prepared for this. Ethan, the whole time, is more of the goof guy. And that's fine, you know? We don't expect Ethan to be an expert on the topic. Ethan was obviously caught in this tricky situation where he is extremely sympathetic to the Israeli cause and what's happening to them. His wife's Israeli. She served in the IDF. He obviously likes the state of Israel. On the other hand, he's just got done capturing a massive progressive audience.
That's a great way to put it. Capturing a massive progressive audience. With Hassan, of course.
Who are very politically savvy. They follow Hassan. Hassan is strictly a political streamer.
Right.
So this is something they're very keyed into. So when they see Ethan say things that are just like not accurate and it's just propaganda, they're gonna call it out.
From the river to the sea essentially means the state of Israel is going bye-bye.
Dude. He sounds so bad.
So this massive progressive audience that Ethan has...
The state of Israel, when people say they don't want the state of Israel to exist, it doesn't mean they want everyone in the state of Israel to be killed. It means they don't want the way that the state of Israel exists with its apartheid to exist that way, right? Like, they don't want that to be how the world works, and it ought not. I mean, Israel is a. I mean, it doesn't matter what you call it. You can still name it Israel. The way Israel is currently constructed is not going to be the way it's constructed in the future. Whenever this is made ethical, and it will be someday by some force. It just will happen at some point. This is not a thing that people are going to let go. They just want to be able to live in their homes with their families and not be persecuted for being born in a place.
You know, adopted over the years.
Yeah, free Palestine, obviously. I hate that we have to even fucking say it now still. Like, that it's even like a fucking political opinion. Like, this is like not being opposed to Hitler. It just is. It really sucks too, right? Like, man, Israel was supposed to be like kind of not Hitler again, right? Isn't the whole point of Israel that they did a Hitler to them, and we didn't want people to have to experience that. And in the wisdom of the West, they said, these brown people won't care if we colonize, just thinking they could displace people. And of course, 100 years later, it doesn't matter. It's okay when we do it. True.
They're becoming increasingly critical of his position because now he's talking about it not on Leftovers. He's now talking about it on his podcast.
What I want to do is show you guys how I see Israel, because you don't see that. When you listen to Hassan and you hear all these fucking mega lefties talking about it like it's some super racist, crazy, like Jim Crow.
It literally is racist and worse than Jim Crow. Apartheid is worse than how Jim Crow was. Like, this is wow.
Pro style of society. Like, I can't wait to show you guys.
The other day, Bibi fired a really good guy that a lot of people are pissed about.
So Ethan is having this back and forth with his liberal audience, leftist people online, progressive content creators, Hassan, all of these different people. He's finding new people every day, basically, to get in fights with.
Of all people, this guy, Matt Lieb, Frogan and Denims and all these dipshits, and everybody thinks this guy's awesome, apparently. Even though he looks like Millhouse, fucking dork. Denim's
fucking dork. He looks like Millhouse. Who cares what he fucking looks like? Who gives a shit? You're wrong. Irrespective of how he looks.
By the way, was the real villain of the video. Evil, hateful fucking... And I'll say it and I'll double down on it. And people... Oh, no? Not go there?
And it's all culminated, at least for my story, in Ethan burning bridges with people until he burned the bridge with me. Since Ethan and Hassan's falling out, I've been keeping to myself mostly. I don't have many nice things to say. Maybe if Ethan's able to get some help, maybe if he stops harassing other creators, maybe if he does these things, eventually he'll find peace and we can rekindle our friendship. So that's been my approach. I've occasionally thrown a joke Ethan's way in the form of Hassan Piker.
It's interesting how time changes. This used to be a situation where iDubbbz was kind of just not being nice to people, and now I like that Content Cop is being used for good. This is nice. I'm proud of this guy.
Versus Ethan Klein for boxing.
I like iDubbbz. He's a good guy, but I don't like this stupid.
Creator Clash 3 needs a headline fight. Here are the options: Ethan Klein versus Piker. Vape Nash versus Hank Piker. Dude, this is funny. Why don't you like this?
It's not a fucking petty beef. It's like, this guy is evil and he's doing anti-Semitism. And also...
He's evil? Hassan's evil? Oh my god. He's doing anti-Semitism? Oh my fucking god. Okay, man. I am evil.
So he's way out of my weight class.
He didn't like that, but fucking sometimes you gotta just throw something out there. I used to work with this video editor named Froggy Tonic. I discovered him because he was in the circles online that I was in. And one of those circles is an H3 fan. He watched Ethan's content, he liked Ethan's content, until he didn't like Ethan's content. There would be an occasional Froggy tweet where I'd be like, I agree with that, I'm not gonna endorse it, I'm not gonna retweet it or like it, but fair enough.
I guess I just missed, my old friend. Some wings are too bird feathered colored.
Now that brings us to February 28th of this year. Now, my former editor of a year and a half ago did say some truly mean shit. He called Hila the C word. He said they're trying to kill their dog with cheddar cheese and a bunch of other shit, I'm sure. Ethan, at some point, discovers that iDubbbz' former editor says this horrendous shit about him and Hila.
Why did he blame iDubbbz? The fuck?
But no one's asking the question, where does Ethan get this information from? You see, it would be very obviously a problem if Ethan was discovering this content by scrolling through Twitter looking for something to upset himself with. He has maybe set it up in such a way where his employees feel the need to send him this information.
He really does just sit there and try to upset himself with people being wild to him. And also, there has been because of his crash out, there's been an aspect of right-wingers that have gone in there pretending, and they say like, hey, I'm Nazi, and then it just triggers him, and then now he's caught in like this fucking, oh, Hassan sent him over here. He can't stop thinking about Hassan. It's rent-free as fuck. He like name searches. It's so crazy, yeah.
And that would be horrible. They shouldn't be doing that. They should be sending you things that are entertaining for your show that don't fucking trigger the hell out of you. Why is there so much work being put into discovering this guy on Twitter who's barely getting any interactions, linking him to me and posting on the Reddit, when there's no work being put into who the fuck is the person on the Reddit who's posting this in the first place?
Great question.
If you do a little bit of research, it seems like it's an account whose intention is to make Ethan crash out. One of the users on the Snark Reddit points this out. They're like, I've seen this account before.
A lifelong Destiny fan? No way. Who deleted his post on history and started solely posting on H3H3 a few months ago? Totally makes... This is what I'm talking about. He posts nonstop to Dalaban Twitter. They call it Dalaban. Fuck. Usually harassing whatever their newest target is. In this case, it was Ludwig and QT Cinderella. This is who is manipulating H3's community, the head mod of Destiny's harassment group. Crazy.
This account has scraped its history, and it's now trying to make Ethan burn bridges. This is within Ethan's own community. Like,
I love bringing the receipt for this.
This is the thing that he needs to be critical of. It's not me. So yes, I am willing to admit that my former editor was being very nasty, uncharitable, and fucked up towards Ethan and Hila on Twitter. But Ethan and Hila are doing the same shit on their podcast.
True.
So I don't want to fucking hear it.
Terrorist supporter.
The CEO of Twitch.
Pedophile.
Now I'm going to watch and respond to the two podcast streams where Ethan and Hila call us spineless cowards.
Anyway, this guy was saying shit like that Hila's a Nazi, that she kills kids, that she went on like, she's a IDF baby killer, all this types of shit. And then
she was complicit in the IDF. I don't know. Does anyone know the time of her service and then has taken a kill count of the IDF versus Palestinians? How many Palestinians were murdered by the IDF during her run? Anybody know? Like, that's as complicit as it gets. IOF. Fucking true.
And that's showing up right up on us Nisa's and iDubbbz feed. My good fucking friends who I stood by after all these fucking years can't find a spine to speak up. You know why? Because they'll get murdered.
They'll get murdered? What? Who's getting murdered?
I don't know what's on my feed. What the fuck is happening? For all you know, I only use the For You tab. For all you know, I only use lists. For all you know, I'm seeing these things tweeted out by my editor of a year and a half ago and saying, God, that is nasty. I'm just not gonna throw someone away because they're having a parasocial weird moment. Just like I'm not gonna throw Ethan Klein away because he's having a parasocial weird crash out.
How many women I fucked? Hassan, by the way, thousands. Yeah, thousands.
Sheesh.
Let me ask Galia. These shoes do not go. I'm sorry. Oh my God. Hassan's the type of dude who watches himself in the mirror when he has sex.
Dude, he is so upset about Hassan. That's weird.
Watching me on a 30-second delay on your stream.
Wait, that's what I'm... Wait, how does he know I'm watching already?
That's a great clip. Seen that a few times. That's good.
Because you've been talking about it for the last 5 minutes.
It's not a fucking petty beef. It's like, this guy is evil and he's doing anti-Semitism. These shoes do not go. I'm sorry.
There are many people, I'm sure, who have unfollowed you for the things that you have said and done. And I'm sure there are even more people who have stayed following you because they don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. They don't want to throw someone away because they've had some hard moments. We're all fucking human.
My good fuck.
Dude, he's being so fucking charitable to Ethan in this. Hila worked her desk job, although admits she wanted to be a sniper and was bored at her desk job. She went on an illegal raid where she was personally detained a civilian that was randomly chosen as a terrorist by the people she joined to do the raid. Interesting.
Fucking friends who I stood by after all these fucking years can't find a spine to speak up. You know why? Because they'll get murdered.
And what you're saying to me is that I'm a bad friend and I'm a piece of shit. I'm spineless. I'm cowardly because I am following someone on Twitter.
Because they have mobilized such an insane harassment group. It's not bad enough that I have this group of people harassing me and everyone in my life. It's that people outside of this group, journalists, creators, are actively participating in this gaslighting to make it seem like I'm fucking crazy.
Look, man, I don't know about like crazy, but definitely taken by the propaganda of a country that doesn't deserve your ethical support. And at this point, because of all the things that you've been told and been informed of, it seems to reflect on your character pretty poorly that you support this place for doing these things. So, yeah, I mean, that's where you're at. That's how it is.
I mean, I don't know what he's getting at here. Like, yeah, people are gaslighting you. A lot of people gaslit me when I apologized. That was actually like the #1 type of harassment I got, was people gaslighting me and taking my newfound woke ideology to its extreme.
I've probably done and stood by iDubbbz and Anissa more than anybody. I've stood by them when all the internet hated them.
I don't like that Ethan brought this up because it makes the relationship feel very transactional.
Yep.
Like, you know, we're just meant to support each other online despite our own personal morals or principles.
But I'll say that
Anissa's really cool and makes really good looking food, for the record. Worth a follow if you're a foodie.
I don't think they're fucking any friends of mine. And certainly I don't think they're any fucking friends of mine based on the text conversation I had with them too before I even talked about it. So
ooh, are we going to see that or hear about it?
No, I have nothing. I don't need any fucking halfway friends, man.
I thought the text conversation that I had with him was very empathetic. I basically just said, like, I know you and Hila are experiencing a ton of harassment, and I essentially empathize with that, and I think there's something positive to get out of the conversation. But he refused to talk on the phone unless I was willing to publicly say something about my former editor and denims.
Fucking what?
As much as you don't want halfway friends, I also don't want that kind of halfway friend. I don't want someone who's going to give me like an ultimatum to have a conversation.
Could you not say something when this is like, imagine like one of you guys is like, Hassan actually wants to go to Israel, go to Gaza so he can strangle Israeli babies or some shit like that. I'd be like, imagine me not saying something.
To strangle Israeli babies?
You're trying to make a one-to-one comparison where there isn't one. This guy that I follow on Twitter is not in the same relationship as you and one of your current employees who is streaming with you 3 days a week, 3 hours a day for the past 10 years.
Yep.
At one point during the stream, Ethan and Hila bring up Adam McIntyre. Now, Adam does basically the same thing as my former editor. He's critical of Ethan and Hila, and he is sometimes uncharitable and nasty towards them.
Adam McIntyre needs to just like disappear. That guy is a piece of shit. Like,
needs to disappear. Well, maybe that was pretty tone deaf by someone who was in the fucking IOF.
Of the lowest order. I never even stood by him when he talked bad about Trisha having a kid and called him like the spawn of Satan. He was supposedly on our side. I would never even co-sign that. I was disgusted by that statement too.
Little baby Satan incoming. Why? What? Disgusted by that? I think that's funny, actually. That's funny. That's not a. This isn't saying that the baby is a shitty person. This is saying that the parent is a shitty person. I don't know. Was she? Like, is this not funny? I don't know.
I remember when he called her kid the spawn of Satan.
I never said anything
And
like
I was
that.
supposed to be like cheering on, but I wasn't going to cheer that on. That's disgusting.
Why do we forget that he called her children, which is something we would never do, the spawn
Never.
of Satan?
It's disgusting.
Satan. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm an atheist. Who gives a fuck? Satan?
And
a piece of shit of a human.
It's just incredible who ends up being the good guys in this story. You know, it's really something.
Unfortunately, they never made a statement. They never said that they disagree with his statements about Trisha's baby until it's useful. Like, what is it, 3 years later? Like, I mean, you're talking about it like you were aware of it at the time and that there was some amount of pressure or enthusiasm for you to get down with that. And what it sounds like to me is that you did see it at the time and you were like, ooh, I don't like that. And you didn't endorse it and you didn't fuck with it. Huh. It's almost like that is a fucking identical situation to me.
It's just incredible who ends up being the good guys in this story. You know, it's really something.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's the good guy? I think it's interesting that Ethan thinks he's the good guys right now.
So yeah, the reason I'm bringing this up is because they're trying to like paint themselves as the good guys, and they're saying like, yeah, we strongly disavow things that are said, even about our enemies. We are the most immoral people on the internet. Unlike Ian and Anissa, who are fucking keeping to themselves. Also, why the fuck does Olivia get the pass?
What a fucking asshole for putting you in.
Ethan couldn't get this far in 3 hours. He didn't finish this video? Ethan didn't finish this at all?
That position, Olivia, you're friends with him and you don't have to say anything, but like, what a fucking piece of shit. What a bad friend to put you in that position just for some fucking clout. It gets people angry at you like, oh, how can she be friends with him, which is total bullshit. Okay, Olivia did not do anything. And
I want the pass. Do I have to be an employee to get that treatment because then you'll just see me as an ally? Or is it because Ethan is afraid of wrongful termination accusations and lawsuits?
And also, I don't mind putting my friend Olivia, who's apparently my real friend, in a terribly weird, fucking uncomfortable situation where you end up getting hate for no reason.
Also, don't frame it as like other people making it hard on Olivia. You're making it hard on all of these people. Please acknowledge.
Very true. There's been multiple times when he's been on stream and they've been like, please stop, please stop.
Role in this whole fucking thing. Like, it's crazy how warm Ethan is to Olivia and saying how Olivia is essentially just a victim in this whole thing.
It gets people angry at you like, oh, how can she be friends with him, which is total bullshit.
But me and Anissa are spineless. Ethan, your whole system is scrambled. My intention isn't to throw the employees under the bus. Like, you guys serve as the fucking foundation for calling out Ethan's hypocrisy on the whole subject. And I know that you guys have probably pushed back against Ethan over the years. How often are you supposed to do that? Do you have to do that every fucking week?
Also, that puts your like employment in a weird spot, right? So you feel obligated to like support him because of the power structure, and I think that's why Ethan likes it. This is the same dude that we watched talking about CPS call. Yeah, for the sick dog and shit, for the Giardia. Yeah. What a bad friend to put you in this position. He says the one actually putting her in an uncomfortable position. True, like a child.
It kind of seems like it, and that's exhausting. I don't want to confront my boss. It's not my fucking job to confront my boss and say, today's segment on rapists and pedophiles on Twitch was not my favorite segment to be a part of.
Yeah, friends like these.
Oh yeah, and our other good friends.
Yeah.
Anissa and Ian. Thanks, Anissa, for standing up for your girl. I actually stood up for you so many times because like why would I not? It was crazy.
Yeah.
What the fuck, man? I didn't know. I don't watch H3 ever. I didn't know that these two got yelled at so much because they don't really talk about it, except for right now.
Why would you not? I mean, if that's truly what you believed and you weren't just going to use it later.
Of course I was going to stand by you. That's insane. It's absolutely insane and disgusting. But now you choose to hang out with people that would have a problem with you if you defended me.
I'm not going to assume that Hila knows, but I'll say it for anyone who doesn't know. Anissa is half Lebanese and half Irish.
If you have any political information at all, that should tell you something.
For anyone unfamiliar, the Irish have been on the receiving end of a lot of oppression and genocide. On the part of the Lebanese, they've received a lot of oppression and attacks from the IDF. So Anissa is very well familiar with the propaganda and the shit coming out of Israel. Choosing now, out of all the times, to be like, please defend me, No, we're not gonna fucking defend you.
Yeah.
Rudy was saying that Palestinians are taught at 2 years old to kill Americans.
That's some racist shit.
Do we have that one?
Man, like just the other day, BB fired a really good guy that a lot of people are pissed about.
Israel warns can send Lebanon back to Stone Age. Great. Oh, this is gallant. Fuck.
He looked mean. I thought he was mean just because he looked mean.
No, it's not.
So yes.
No, he's not mean. Threatening to send Lebanon to the Stone Age. Sick.
You caught us. We're not gonna run to your defense when
you're wrong.
I don't know. We follow people. We be following. That's one fucked up thing that you can say about Anissa and I is when we're on Twitter, we do be following.
So
The problem.
okay, if you want to hang out with those people and have no spine and not stand up for another girl that stood up for you, enjoy your new friends.
She's friends with people like Denims.
I know.
Over half their current or former employees follow Denims. Whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Which I'll
she's
show.
friends with
Denims
Denim.
is actually participating in this whole child protective service lie.
Yeah,
Which I'll
and if
show you
you're
guys
friends with
today.
them, then you're seeing what they're saying.
You'll notice that Ethan and Hila start talking about this Denims character.
This Denims character?
Originally, the complaint was about my former editor. He's been chatting shit about Ethan and Hila for the past year at least. They only care about it now because I guess it was spoon-fed to them via their Reddit that's clearly looking out for them. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, we are friends with Denims, but I would say it's the same level of friendship that we had with Ethan and Hila. It's like kind of an internet friendship. We think that she's a good person like we think Ethan and Hila are good people. Kind of a tricky situation. How can you possibly think that they're both good people at their core? People can have crash out moments. People can say things that they don't mean. People can say things because they want internet clout and attention. I don't know, I think they're both probably guilty of saying things that they don't mean for internet clout and attention. Right now, one's a little bit more fucking nasty to me than the other.
Yeah, I don't know if Ethan and Hila are good people at the core of it, because it seems to me that, like, their conduct with their friendships and relationships is really transactional, and they have used their popularity to kind of hold people in those relationships, or their power of them literally with their employees.
I just don't see how you can be my friend and also be friends with someone like that.
Well, you can't. So I already forgot about you.
I actually have a lot of friendships that are kind of that way, where it's like, you know, one of the friends doesn't fuck with the other friend, but there is someone in the middle who kind of fucks with both of them, but separately. Yeah, there's a lot of friendships that are like that. I'm not going to make you guys, like, meet up and kiss or anything. I get it. You guys are in fucking... You're either my best friend who's deep-throating me to the base of my cock, or you are Satan. You're the devil.
The devil.
The last thing I said to Anissa, we were texting before I ever talked about it. She's like, I don't care about this guy. He's a nobody. And, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, then you'll have no problem publicly denouncing it, right?
Publicly denouncing it?
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, the conversation ended.
She never replied.
Ethan, you can't even phrase it in a way that doesn't make you sound like you're being coercive and shitty.
Right.
Well, then, you should have no problem publicly denouncing it, right?
How dare you? I am Ethan Klein of Vape Nation. How dare you betray me?
Does that sound like a friend? It kind of sounds like something a powerful villain would say.
Yeah.
But it was so funny how she immediately went to comment everywhere, like on our subreddit. She immediately had to comment like, oh, he doesn't work with us anymore. But that was it. That's all she said.
But then say that you don't
Okay. Do you have anything else to say for your friends, though?
One of the reasons Anissa was so quick...
The way they publicly denounced the genocide? No. Yeah.
To clarify things in your Reddit is...
That's not Ian's editor, is someone who Ian hired before. Yeah, but it doesn't work for
because your Reddit was already talking about who this editor is, and they were spreading misinformation that it was our co-host on our podcast, Uncle...
Literally publicly did on... That was literally Anissa.
Dane. So yeah, the last thing we wanted is this guy getting pulled into this mess, and you guys don't give a fuck. Would it have been nicer and more supportive to say, we don't agree with the things he's saying and we support Ethan and Hila? Sure. Like, yeah, that would have been a nicer thing to say. Our silence means something. It means that we would like to pause this relationship until you figure your shit out And then maybe we can find a moment in time, I don't know how long it'll be, but a moment in time in the future where things are a little bit easier to broach. I don't
like, hey, you support genocide, and that makes me feel bad on account of being associated with that through my familial ties. That sucks. That's a bad thing to like. It's gonna put strain on your relationships.
I don't think we need to do it right now. But you've insisted that this is an important thing to address.
The Chancellor of Vape Nation. Yeah. I am the Chancellor.
I would have been perfectly fine with you not blasting me on your Instagram story.
Yeah.
I would have been perfectly fine with you not blasting me and my wife on your podcast twice. I would be fine with you not brigading my comment section on my podcast that gets 3,000 views a week because I prefer to not do harassment campaigns and instead talk about Vampire's Kiss.
Wait, that sounds awesome.
Like they say something like he doesn't work for me, and I strongly disagree, and I support.
Wait, that sounds so fucking fun.
Support Ethan and Hila. The problem is
that she doesn't.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
She actually.
She thinks they have a point.
That's the problem.
Yeah. So go fuck yourself.
I agree.
Go fuck yourself. What about your girl? This is what I'm talking about. This aggression that you're putting out into the world. What the fuck do you think
Sarah and Jake podcast when? What's that? What would it even be called?
we're gonna do? You think I'm gonna fucking sit on my hands when you do this shit? Like, this is nasty. We had such a fair response to what you guys were going through. We don't support harassment. It's a bad thing, but it
baby corn
happens, and you're perpetuating it.
You fucking propagandist, lying scumbag, terrorist supporter. He probably sets up a mirror and jerks off watching himself. Dan KKK Clancy has a similar view of Hitler. Because Dan Clancy, the Nazi, fucking anti-Semite.
You can't expect other people to stop harassing you if you continue to harass people.
That's fair. You do cultivate that kind of environment if you behave that way. That's for sure.
Let's think about it on a micro level. Have you ever been in a comment section and found someone to argue with? It doesn't stop. It can literally go on forever if you don't want to touch grass.
I mean, yeah, this was kind of like a line, what happened today, that should never be crossed, even by like the most cynical, toxic people. It's going to have ramifications in terms of how I conduct myself. In terms of these fair weather friends who are, you know,
fair weather friends. My friends disagree with my bad opinion is not a fair weather friend. That's a good friend. That's a good fucking friend.
No, so happy to be friends as long as they're getting something out of it.
Ethan, that is a rich thing to say. Like, you're the H3 podcast, okay? There's a lot of friends of the show. There's even more fair weather friends of the show. Let's not get into this shit, okay? That is so bizarre and insulting to suggest that I was only ever being friends with you to get something out of it. No, I'm friendly with you, and I'd say I'm a light friend because it's been pleasant hanging out with you. I've enjoyed your content over the years, and as of late, it's gotten really fucking shitty.
Yeah, and that sucks, man. For, people in my chat that have been around for a while. I mean, this reminds me of a situation I've been in for a different reason. It's not fun to want to solve your problem behind closed doors, and then the other person is just entirely unable and unwilling to like meet you there and be the friend you thought they should be. That does suck.
Yeah, so go fuck yourself.
It doesn't suck losing somebody. I mean, I didn't like the losing part wasn't my fault. In fact, I currently and still feel genuine relief of having that mollusk off of my body. Like it is someone who is just fucking glomming, and it didn't feel good to be exploited.
I agree.
Who else? Who else do we want to burn today?
Who else do we want to burn today?
Yeah, what a fucking mentality, dude. What a piece of shit.
Making it so fucking obvious that this is your emotional dumping ground.
Yeah.
It's horrible. This is not what podcasts are. There was a way to approach this to say like, yeah.
They're using it as like fucking couch therapy or some shit.
We feel hurt by you guys not saying something. You've decided to do the extra thing and attack. Now, in fairness, I am attacking back, but I feel very insulted and I feel defensive and I feel like I am speaking up for a lot of people who have problems with you.
Wow, this is like really fucking constructive. Holy shit. This is way better than I thought it was going to be, and I had high expectations. He is just being like really fucking honest. This is kind of really this might be the healthiest fucking response I've seen to Ethan's crash out and Hila's. Like, for real.
And a lot of people who have been on the receiving end of your harassment.
It's so easy to be anti-racist. Everybody's anti-racist. Racism is the worst thing in the world, right?
Racism is the worst thing in the world unless my fucking country that I support does it? Huh?
We fucking hate racists. Fuck racists.
Microaggressions.
The minute...
Microaggressions. Yeah, it makes her sound really fucking in it for the fight. Microaggressions.
That they actually have to stick their neck out for somebody. The minute they have to actually risk something to put themselves in under scrutiny, to sacrifice something personally to stand up for racism, then all of a sudden it's like, hey, I don't want to get involved.
And that's drama.
How much do you care?
I don't do drama.
How much
Sorry.
do you actually care? Isn't that the whole point? Like,
I realize that Ethan and Hila are more scared now than they've probably ever been. I feel like anti-Semitism is a thought in their heads now more than ever. And it's not completely unjustified to be thinking about that sometimes. You guys are just hurt and you're kind of like dancing around and making very like loose, poorly thought out analogies for something that doesn't even apply to us. It's like me making this video is the standing up for something and it's saying, fuck you, you guys are being bad.
Yeah, fucking true. Man, this is a good video, man. This might be his best video.
You know, I don't think you're bad people, but you're being bad. You're behaving poorly. Yeah. You're hurting people.
I mean, go back to the civil rights. You think that the people who are like the white kids who are protesting with the black students, you think that they were just like not risking anything? Those kids who are marching with the black students and...
So in Ethan's analysis...
He thinks he's marching with the black students?
He's the black student.
Right, yeah.
And I'm the white student, but I'm the white student that's not, marching by his side. I'm not doing the difficult thing. You're gonna have to march on your own, black student.
Marching with the black students and...
I mean, why is it inspiring? Why is it inspiring?
Well, and it's the same thing, to bring it back to the song just because, but it kind of is the same thing. Like, I was thinking about going to Gaza until I found out it's dangerous.
Until I found out it's dangerous? Why is it dangerous? Why is it fucking dangerous there?
A total performative activist that doesn't give a single fuck about the cause.
It's been performed exquisitely. Harassing one person and seamlessly transitioning into harassing another one. If anyone's been watching for the past fucking year, I'm pretty sure they have a good idea of your feelings about Hassan.
Like, people like Anissa are the perfect example because she's friends with these people. She's friends with Denims. Denims is streaming this story about our kid
I'll show that, yeah.
getting Giarda from the dog, whatever.
I'm sorry. I'll accept this position from anyone except you guys.
Yeah.
You have laid the groundwork for this type of streaming, which is watching people's shit and giving your unfiltered reaction to it. Why would you expect Anissa, of all people, to say something to Denims? Okay, so by that logic, we should be saying shit to you guys all the time. But I have a feeling you guys wouldn't like if we said shit like that to you all the time. Yeah.
Right. Like, hey, you better watch your fucking Reddit.
Yeah, we've been respecting you as independent content creators. You can do what you want. We'll treat you as adults. Maybe we shouldn't have been treating you as adults.
She could say so much, and it would make her a little bit uncomfortable, right? It's not comfortable. She'll get a little bit of shit.
Yeah, just for saying that.
But that would be commendable.
And by the way, it kind of speaks for itself.
Why isn't anybody supporting us? It would be commendable to support us. It wouldn't. You're assholes.
Saying, hey, their house is clean. They're actually good people. Like that's going to get you shit. That kind of says it all, doesn't it?
There isn't a single person that I respect who would give a fuck if I publicly said that Ethan and Hila are great with their kids.
Yeah.
Ethan and Hila didn't kill their dog, and Ethan and Hila wipe their asses or don't have giardia or whatever the prompt is. No.
Yeah, man. I don't know why you need your friends to be like, look, we don't have a poopy house. We have witnesses to say we don't have a poopy house.
No one would care. The only person who would care is me, because I'm like, why did I tweet this out? I'm not tweeting out because I'm not your fucking lapdog. That's why I'm not tweeting it out. I'm not saying it to my audience because I don't give a fuck. It's not my business.
That's, in my opinion, doing something that's difficult and standing by your principles. That's the whole point. That's what makes standing by your principles.
Standing by your principles, because they have to make content about this? They have to like tweet? Why do they have to get involved with your drama?
Admirable is that it's not always easy.
Why are you saying that I'm not standing up for my principles when you don't even know what they are? I get, like, we're a little bit
fair
past directly naming me, so we might have gone off on a tangent. If you maybe accepted the phone call and we talked about it, you could have asked me, hey, what are your principles? And I can tell you the way I've been behaving is exactly in line with my principles.
Right.
Now we're going to talk about the BDS list. We're going to start off with
Befriend, discuss, social media, follow. What? Boycott these creators now for their complicity in not deep-throating Ethan Klein.
Frogan, because obviously this is like as bad as it gets. If you're following Frogan, that can only mean that you're anti-Ethan.
Fuck. I do follow.
Oh, this is not a good start. Love of the H3 podcast. You are following Frogan, so that means that you are anti-Ethan. Sam, Morg Pie, friend of the show. Olivia, Ian, Daily Dose of Internet is anti-Ethan. Jesus, this is fucked up. Pokimane, comment etiquette. Oh shit, Asmongold's in here. Asmongold follows Frogan. No, Asmon. That means you're anti-Ethan. That's fucked up. We're going to want to avoid these creators at the top of the list, but one tier below them are the creators who associate with them. They're essentially endorsing all of their statements. You got me, you got Anissa, I think Hassan's in there. You'd think that Hassan would be on the top of the BDS list, but that's not the case. Hassan provides additional value for people. Ethan can turn a blind eye to people collaborating with Hassan because that's what he did. You got to be the lowest of the low to be associating with the Frogans and the Denims of the world. To associate with Hassan, that just makes sense because he's famous.
Oh, God. Oh, man. It makes Ethan sound and act very clout chasey, that's for sure.
And he's got a massive fan base. Also, Ethan still follows Hassan on Instagram, so Hassan is in his feed.
And that's showing up.
Yeah, so that you can fucking get mad at Hassan's thirst trap pictures, be like, he's not that hot. Ethan, relax. He probably has sex with the mirror or something.
Right up on.
Have some fucking dignity.
Us Nissa's and iDubbbz feed.
It's important to remember that this is a living document and people can be removed or put onto it depending on how Ethan's feeling that day. You have this other tier of creators that exist below Hassan but are still anti-Ethan. But Ethan really doesn't want to bring your attention to these ones because it's kind of unpopular, you know? A lot of them are famous. It's no coincidence that Ethan stays silent when these powerful, popular men are supporting Hassan. It's because Ethan is a coward. He's a bitch-made coward.
It's probably good Ethan didn't get all the way through this video today.
I think Ethan has an unreasonable amount of respect for these comedians because they have power, they're quick, and I think he knows that they don't fuck with his ideology. Yeah. But he's going to keep that to himself because the last thing that he wants to discover is that people that he respects and looks up to, they don't fuck with him.
Yeah. Bill Burr came on. It was like the worst fucking show. It was just horrible. That was like my lowest moment on podcast history.
I don't remember. I vaguely remember this, but I don't remember what happened. Bill Burr doesn't like Ethan Klein. It's hilarious.
We could talk about Bill Burr, ruined my life. Bill Burr made Ethan go on Lexapro. I was prescribed it and it was in my bedside. And then it was the Bill Burr episode that made me finally start.
When Stavros goes on Hassan's stream and he mocks your content nuke.
I actually saw a really interesting video about you, man, and I don't know that I'm even comfortable being here anymore.
Oh, no.
It really kind of shed light on you in a way.
Yeah.
You kind of like have leftist politics and stuff like that.
Whoa, wait. Did you guys wait? Hassan's a leftist? That's fucked up.
And I actually feel betrayed.
Yeah,
And so I'm actually just here to let you know this is the last time I'm ever coming.
You don't fire back because you're coping. So you're just gonna tuck your tail between your legs and never mention on your podcast that mentions everything. You're bringing up.
Oh my god, dude! This is Ethan wishes he could do a content nuke this thorough.
Some fucking connection I have on Twitter. Someone mocks you on a stream, you're not touching it. Fuck you, you're a coward. It's just his job. It's just what he does for his job. You know, he doesn't mean it. We're actually good friends. You know, he makes fun of everyone. It's not just me, right? Oh, also, I can't forget about Matt Lieb. Matt Lieb is in this like middle tier. His valuable association is Rhett and Link. So Rhett and Link, conveniently, are also in this category of popular and powerful men who Ethan does not want to burn bridges with. Although, he's sniffing around.
This guy, Matt Lieb, he works for Good Mythical Morning. Of all...
Oh. He does like to say and mention the clout level of someone when he brings them up. It's very strange.
People, this guy Matt Lieb, who apparently is a producer for Good Mythical Morning. Well, this guy works for Good Mythical Morning, acting like he's wholesome, and he's bringing on somebody that wants to kill my wife. Or
fuck, Panada. God damn it.
In a video game. And I think he should be fired, frankly. And I hope he is fired. He's pathetic. And he interviewed basically a terrorist.
I think Ethan only respects power right now, which is one of the reasons I made this video in the first place, is because he thinks I'm weak. He thinks a lot.
Cool. It's also because Ethan has said a lot that he likes Good Mythical Morning and watches daily. Oh.
A lot of these other creators that he's gone out of his way to attack, he thinks that they're weak, and he thinks they're a target that he can bully, he can manipulate, he can send lawsuits to. And I want him to know that we're not going to be bullied. You're being a piece of shit, and we're going to call you out.
So here's the button. Yeah. You've got a video, and you've got an audio. We're hitting both.
What is this? Wow. The fuck? What does this do? I don't watch the show.
Yes.
There's no point.
Let's leave.
Yeah, there's no need.
Yeah.
I don't want to. Oh shit. Like, how pathetic are you?
A lot of... the summer was tough for him, huh?
I don't like... Pedophile. But the Eye of Sauron. I see you. Yeah. I see you out there, you fucking cockroach.
Cockroach?
You living with your parents for a lot longer, buddy. Yes, please. I want to be a good deal. I'm a good Jew, please, guys, please.
No.
It mutes the audio and video?
I don't think it was that.
That was fine.
Big a deal. Of all the things that it always surprises me what you think crosses the line.
Well, I looked at Olivia and she's like, yes, do it.
Now let's talk about the button.
Tagging it, wagging it, chopping that meat.
Fuck the button. Oh, yeah.
Ethan got this button, or kill switch, as a response to the controversy with Cutie Cinderella. He was not able to control himself in that moment, and instead of figuring out how he can change his behavior, he spent $20,000.
$20,000? Why do the buttons cost $20,000? I think we could do better.
Dan and Hila were like, we would kill button that right now if we could. I can't change who I am.
I know. That's why the kill button is on its way.
That's it. See, exactly.
He uses the button for everything. If his jokes don't land, he's hitting the button.
It was being presented as if the Jordan crying thing.
I hit the button.
Why?
I don't think I needed to, but you guys were giving me crickets, so I panicked.
Holy fucking shit, man. This is so bad. He needs to just stop upload. He has enough money. Get off the internet, man. It's not for you. It's time. It's time to log off.
He's insecure about getting something wrong. He's hitting the button.
But okay.
You what? Button for that? What on this frame could Ethan have responded to? Perhaps a country flag that he got wrong? Maybe. I don't know.
If he goes on a problematic tirade, he's hitting the button.
Before, look how sad. But yeah, it's not just that. Like their eyes are like big.
That makes it fucking worse. That makes it worse almost.
I think you guys are wrong on this one. I think you guys are all wrong on this one.
I don't think he's unique in hitting the button. I think if all of us had buttons, we'd hit the button all the time. But if you don't have it, You operate differently. You think about what you're saying. You maybe plan for your show a little bit more. You maybe say, I'm not going to have my podcast be an emotional dumping ground for today. You instead say, ooh, it's important that we stay on topic. Also, the H3 community and Ethan himself use the phrase Goblin Mode all the time to excuse a lot of his shitty behavior or make it seem less bad.
I've been diagnosed with Goblin Mode, actually.
That's kind of cringe, man. Goblin Mode is an old meme now.
Claiming that
It's only funny if you're talking about like cats and stuff sometimes.
happens is he just gets into this like uncontrolled state he refers to as Goblin Mode.
I do not call myself Goblin Mode.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what you did.
Goblin Mode? Is that what you're calling Tourette's now?
Is that what you're calling Tourette's now?
All victims of Goblin Mode, I would like to issue an apology.
You are Goblin Mode today. You're Goblin Mode. Look how many times you paused the
I'm trying,
video.
bro.
See, that was peak Goblin Mode. That clip was from when the meme was at its very peak.
I don't think there's no room for using the term Goblin Mode. I like the idea that you're defending yourself and the little guy by going Goblin Mode when a big corporation or a big entity is trying to attack you.
Like, if you fuck me over, if you steal money from me, if you patronize me, if you do any of this shit like you're trying to do to me, to treat me like a fucking idiot, I'm crazy, dude. I've gone fucking Goblin Mode over way less.
But you not...
That's weird.
Not thinking about what you're saying, not, reflecting on your behavior, not changing your behavior, that's not Goblin Mode. That's being a child. Let's
fucking true. Absolutely true.
Talk about the crew. I think the crew has been put in the worst working environment.
Dude, it's so awkward. When the fucking crew doesn't want him to be going in a direction that he is.
That you possibly can be for a fucking podcast. Every crew member has it bad. To be around Ethan, period, would be a nightmare right now.
I'm standing by every fucking syllable of that, okay? What she did was abhorrent. And by the way...
Buttons!
Just don't. Listen, your critique of her is correct. It's just, people are sensitive about women being called that word. And so...
Like, how pathetic are you?
Which word? Cunt?
You know what I mean?
Well...
Did he call someone a cunt, dude? I bet that happened.
I'm not assuming his pronouns. And fuck all these people. Go ahead.
No,
and I'm
no.
not yelling at you. I'm just...
Oh, my God.
Kelly is a black woman, right?
Yes.
Maziel is a...
Korean.
Oh, Dan, come on. You're being such a buzzkill. Yeah, I didn't know Korean. I asked if Koreans are POs.
Fuck.
Dan's in the bathroom. Let's just not do this right now.
I asked if Korean people are POCs.
The one time the button didn't work and we listened to how he spoke to AB without thinking that the internet was going to hear it, it was rude, it was nasty, and it didn't have this caveat of like, I'm not mad at you. It was anger, and it was uncalled for.
Use
right here?
They get access to cover most of it.
We're doing it.
What are you
Making it
doing?
so awkward and terrible.
I'm sorry, I'm not.
Just like, this is what I'm talking about when it's always like...
We need to get home for our kids.
It's like, bro...
Oh, no, I didn't want to...
They just did audio, or, they didn't do, they didn't press both of them, just the one.
finish it right now. I'm about finishing Wednesday.
On Friday, maybe. Is it?
You guys, like...
All right, I'm taking my hand off the... What? Okay, well...
Aired all that.
Thanks, Button.
And he didn't want to take...
Aired all that. Great.
Accountability.
Dude, so fucking... Ugh, he's such a bad boss, too, dude.
For it. He immediately wanted to deflect, and he wanted to say that the button fucked him.
First of all, I appreciate the hard work.
I know you do.
And I loved it, and I really enjoy it. But it's like every time we do it, it's like the show is what it is, and...
I know,
It makes it...
I was being selfish.
No, dude, that button f***ed me, dude.
The button fucked me. I was being selfish. Ugh.
Can you imagine that button f***ing me over like that?
The button fucked you? AB fucked you? Who fucked you? You fucked yourself by being an asshole. He makes it seem like he's not a tyrant of a boss.
Yeah.
What are you
Making it
doing?
so awkward and terrible. I appreciate the hard work.
I know you do.
And I loved it, and I really enjoy it.
Dan, his producer, is constantly clarifying things on the air and making it clear that what Ethan said was a joke.
He shows up late, too.
Ethan is being overly defensive, or he's saying things that are like not true and he's exaggerating.
People saw that. They thought that that was what you searched to
I did
pull
not
up that photo. So I'm just clarifying.
Thank you for clarifying. I appreciate you doing that. God forbid.
It's okay because I buttoned it.
Why?
Because
it's not that big of a deal, man.
Just
Like,
your
how
inability to.
No. Hold on, Dan.
This, man. Dan and Olivia constantly get treated like shit. Dude, I do not like how he talks to Dan. I mean, Olivia crying on stream before? I didn't see that, I'm sure.
How does it
I never watch this, and the only times I see it is like people clipping this kind of shit on Twitter.
change anything? People knowing that we did it.
It's fun when it's a surprise.
Okay, well,
Well, you just asked how it changed
Surprise
things.
them on your show.
Dude, Hila just sitting there like with a fake smile on her face.
Okay, all right.
You know, I understand that that's his
Fake
role,
laugh.
and he's, you know, Ethan's made that his job, or Dan's made it his job. Ethan leans on it so heavily, in the same way that he leans on the button. Ethan is leaning on all of these people to be adults and look after his behavior and give all of this emotional and empathetic energy for Ethan,
Yeah.
but Ethan refuses to give it back to them.
Fucking true. And that kind of shit feels fucking bad. When you're trying to give somebody like pieces of you and they don't reciprocate, man, that fucking sucks, dude. When you're just trying to be a friend, you know, you're trying to be or a coworker or a peer, and you're putting energy toward like trying to prop them up and they don't do fucking anything for you. I mean, that shit sucks, dude.
Also, let's talk about AB and Lena, two Lebanese
ever.
employees, and you just continue to talk about the conflict like they don't exist.
Fucking
It would be
true.
nicer, a lot nicer, for you to shut the fuck up about it. You're allowed to do that.
Hezbollah in Syria alone killed double that much.
Oh my fucking god.
All right, I'm going to move on. I just want to play Hassan talking about bad empanada.
I'm going to move on to basically the same topic.
Ethan doesn't want to change, and he wants to bring the entire crew down with him, because he's putting them in this position every day, right? But it's more important that he gets this shit off his chest. It's more important that he dumps. We're all familiar with Goblin Mode. Well, Ethan debuted a new mode recently.
And by the way, my ratio is pretty good. Like, I'm looking at like 20 Goblin modes to 1 too far. Demon mode, let's call it.
Great.
What makes Demon Mode different than Goblin Mode is goblins aren't really like an intimidating, powerful force. If the goblin is persistent, it can get what it wants.
When I'm done with the other one, the big one that's dropping probably next week, my full attention is going to you, George. Like the Eye of Sauron. I see you. I see you out there, you fucking cockroach.
Ethan, the reason the internet got behind you when you were being sued by Matt Haas, or
Yeah, man. Fuck. You remember that era of the internet?
when you were being sued by Ryan Kavanaugh, is because people saw you as the underdog. They saw you as the guy who's defending the common man.
I'm suing, and I cannot wait for you guys to read it. At the moment, we are writing 3 complaints for 3 people.
You are doing the classic rich asshole thing. You have a deficit of friends, you have a surplus of enemies. You feel really bad, you feel hurt.
Yeah.
But you also have a surplus of money. So what can you do? You can use that money to bully and intimidate people. These public legal threats that you're making to fellow creators, these legal threats that you're making to people on Reddit, on Twitter, you're like, I'm hurt. These people are hurting me. What do I do to stop it? There's nothing I can do to stop it. I'm powerless.
Except fucking be rich at them.
No, you have a ton of power, you have a ton of options, you have a ton of choice. That's exactly what you get for being filthy rich, is you can do all of these things.
I've never want to sue someone for defamation, but like at what point do you kind of fucking have to? I mean, this is like...
Yeah, you're right. He really did just call himself Sauron. He could do literally anything else to keep making money. Go back and vape too much and make stupid videos walking around being a dummy. It'd be okay.
Basically, someone calling you a pedophile. Be like, yeah, you know, Ethan's a pedophile.
Dan Clancy or whatever, like the CEO of Twitch, and being
Pedophile. Dan KKK Clancy has a similar view of Hitler. Because Dan Clancy, the Nazi, fucking anti-Semite. There are certain things you can accuse people of that rise above to make it like actionable, which is like wrongfully accusing someone of being a pedophile.
Is that his wife's face?
A sex criminal.
Oh, yeah, he got a weird Hila tattoo, didn't he? Oh, no.
murderer, shit like that. Dan Clancy
Online.
now, in other words, he is a pedophile.
Oh, I fucking button that.
You have so much less to go off of saying that
Oh
than
no,
anybody
I was
has
just saying
about
based
Dream.
on his looks. Just on his based on his
Well,
looks.
at least you're
Great. I'm sure that's not a fucking illegal thing, in memoriam tattoo. Oh,
self-aware.
That's 100% a joke. I have no evidence to conclude that he is.
great joke.
One of the more notable legal threats that Ethan has sent out recently is against Noah Sampson.
I have nothing but vibes to gain, and potentially your money as well.
Wow, cool.
Don't worry if you don't have it all now. I'll garnish your wages. You're going to be living with your parents for a lot longer, buddy. 26, you know what I mean? Try 46.
Noah made a video that was critical of Ethan and other content creators when they're talking about Israel and Palestine. I mean, the way he's talking about Noah on his podcast is so fucking creepy and weird.
I agree. I don't know. I feel like a countersuit might be in order.
Is this a new thing?
This is a new thing. This happened during the show. Upon initial examination, it seems to check out, and it's not great for young Noah.
Can I say that? Don't say it yet.
I'll say it.
So he's a rape. So of course his standard, I don't know what he's accused of, so I'm not actually going to say, but
Ethan brought on a former partner of Noah to basically just shit talk him and say that he's a bad partner. But that's all that Ethan was able to extract out of it.
you are not accusing him of committing any crimes or doing R-word or anything like that. The accusation is that he's a sleaze.
Absolutely. Noah
Yeah.
Sampson, as far as I know, is not a rapist.
Fuck you to Noah Sampson, who's not just a liar and a scumbag, but also a creep, allegedly.
An alleged creep?
Allegedly.
Now let's talk about the left-leaning Democrat.
He presents himself as someone like me, a left-leaning Democrat who supports basic things.
The thing that made me start to question Ethan's intentions is that when he was suggested to talk to Sam Cedar, a fellow progressive, a guy that Ethan respects and looks up to.
He works with Sam Cedar at the Majority Report. I respect him and what they do there.
He kept saying
and what they do there.
That it was racist or anti-Semitic to suggest that he talked to someone who's within the same ethnic group as him.
That's why I said yesterday, I urge Ethan to talk to Sam Cedar. There are very thoughtful, very kind anti-Zionist Jews out there that he could talk to. I don't think that I will be able to reach him.
What's the insinuation that I only listen to other Jewish people?
No. That it might be good to hear someone's perspective that is similar to yours but differs on this topic? Because he's from the community?
You need to talk to my pre-approved list of Jews that agree with me on everything. You know, it doesn't matter if they're Jewish, dude. It doesn't matter if they're fucking Jewish.
I think most Jews.
I don't think Jews at large view it. I don't think that is the.
In what position are you to even say that?
It's not motivated by myself. It's motivated by Jews against anti-Zionist Jews.
Seriously, how can you speak for my entire ethnic group? I find that really interesting.
What? And then offering a different person from the ethnic group?
Ethan, I don't know what to fucking tell you. This is like step one of having a leftist ideology, is recognizing our race, religion, nationality, all this shit, all shape our experiences as people.
Yeah.
That's the reason why it'd be better served to have this conversation not with myself, but with an anti-Zionist Jewish person.
Why does it matter if they're Jewish?
Because I'm not Jewish, and you've said in this conversation that, how can you tell me how to feel about the situation?
Yeah, but how is one person a representative of Jews at large? I'm just telling you how Jewish people around the world interpret that phrase.
So yes, Ethan, on occasion you might be suggested to talk to someone who has some crossover with you.
Right.
It doesn't have to be your ethnicity. It could possibly be someone who shares progressive ideology with you. It could possibly be someone who is of your same gender.
Yeah.
I think Ethan understands this concept very well. He listened to these women on his show when they told him that he shouldn't be calling women bitches.
This bitch is intolerable. You are such a nasty fucking bitch, Ken.
I don't know if you can call her a bitch, though.
I don't know if you can call her a bitch, though. Yeah, I think if you're calling women bitches all the time, it is a symptom of your misogyny, probably. Sometimes someone can be a bitch, but I always use it in in lieu of you're a pussy. You know what I mean? You're being a little bitch. You know what I mean? I don't like using it to describe women's behavior almost ever. In fact, I think it's kind of funny to call a woman a dick or something, or an asshole, because that's usually reserved for men.
She is a bitch. She's a fucking. You're right. I call her a see you next Tuesday.
Listen, you have.
I'm curious, what do Lena and Sam think about it?
I wouldn't be okay with that.
Yeah.
I feel like that it's for the girlies, Ethan. But I
So
agree.
you guys all seem to be in consensus that
We
it's in
are.
poor form. I think to respect the women here in the room, I'm going to have to pass on saying that.
The infantilization.
I'm gonna have to pass on it. I mean, I don't even hate his reaction to there at the time. Like that's okay, I guess, in respect to the people around me for saying that. I'm not gonna call people bitches anymore. It's okay to learn, but he didn't, did he?
The accusation of Ethan Klein is fucking nauseating. He's not a child. He is absolutely capable of looking into Hassan, learning about his politics, interviewing, doing loads of things to figure out where he stands.
He presents himself as someone like me, a left-leaning Democrat who supports basic things.
Yeah.
And for the first time, I noticed an inordinate amount of radical, hardcore leftists. I mean, I thought we were social democrats, not whatever this was. This
Hardcore leftists. Oh no! It makes you a hardcore leftist to be opposed to a genocide. I get called a communist all the time, and I don't even know that I advocate for communism for any of my policies. Like, I think spiritually I'm a communist. That's definitely true of me. Like, I think it's nice to think of, like, what if we all lived communally and horizontally, and everyone had their needs met exactly to their needs, and we all could just live happy. Like, I would love that, and I think it's definitely. It's like an ideal to strive for, and when you describe what communism is to people that are against it, it's like, oh, that'll never happen. And then they ask you to believe in heaven, and then you test them on that, and it's basically just like communism with one extra step of like eternal worship, which is insane. But they're describing what they would like in the afterlife is what we're trying to say. Hey, maybe we should have like most of that in real life. But I do think that, like, because we're so stuck in capitalism, I don't even think it's useful to call yourself a communist if you're trying to politically advocate, because it's just going to be used in a negative way. It doesn't even matter. Like, we're not going to be able to live communally in our lifetimes. Maybe in small pockets, which would be ideal. In fact, it would be wonderful to like have a bunch of people go in and collectively buy some space around a place, and then we just all live like relatively communally. That'd be sick as fuck. I would love that. But we're stuck we're stuck in the belly of the machine, and it's bleeding to death, and it sucks.
This comment from Hassan really started to sound some alarms in my head. I was already getting uncomfortable with our partnership. I started to wonder.
Yeah, or go stateless and moneyless. I agree with those things. I don't think we should have state lines. Humans should be able to walk the earth. It's really fucking stupid. But because of the way that our society springs up and the... Man, I could talk about this forever. Just like from an anthropological standpoint, like we're animals that gained sapience and don't know how to handle it, and that's essentially where we're at.
If I had any idea who this guy actually is.
You made how many episodes with Hassan?
Yeah.
Like, this guy made a fucking program with the biggest mega leftist on the platform.
Yep.
Now he's acting like he was tricked and he was incapable of figuring out what this guy's beliefs were. Bro, I didn't make the fucking leftist program. You did. You made fucking, 60 some odd episodes of this shit for hours talking to this guy?
Yeah.
You didn't have a problem with any of it until, Ethan talks about being aware of Hassan's 9/11 comments and then sort of leaves it at that. Like it was just a joke. Actually, I think Ethan describes them as edgy moments or jokes.
You might remember him from such classics as...
America deserved 9/11, dude. Fuck it. I'm saying it.
Now,
that was funny, though. I don't think deserved is what triggers a lot of people, but I think America's actions led to 9/11. Pretty obviously. It happened because of America's imperialism. It's just a sad reality, dude. We are complicit in the way people react to us.
To be clear, I knew about all these edgy and controversial jokes at the time we made the show together. Because who am I to judge?
Fucking who am I to judge? But right now, it is me to judge, actually. Who am I to judge? I am. I'm gonna.
No, Ethan, those aren't jokes, right? When someone makes a controversial statement like that, that's not them trying to be funny. I can understand why you would conflate the two. That is someone who is extremely frustrated and passionate about a particular topic.
I think he goes to say, doesn't he say something about fucking, I I forget the guy's name now. Why can't you think of that politician's name? The guy with the eye patch. Didn't he talk about fucking the eye socket? Or was that just the memes after? It was in bad faith. Crenshaw, that's his name. Yeah. It earned bad taste. Bad taste, sir.
In this case, American imperialism and terrorism. You could have looked into that. You could have talked to Hassan a little bit more and found out what his international politics opinions are. But you wouldn't even need to do that. You can look at it online. You're not a victim. You weren't tricked. You made 60 some odd episodes.
Yep.
If you didn't want to go down this route, you shouldn't have done it. But that was your fucking choice. You did it. You are an adult. When Ethan and Hila are watching Matt Lieb saying that one state doesn't represent all Jews, they cannot wrap their heads around the idea.
No single person represents all Jews.
I'm just telling you how Jewish people around the world interpret that phrase.
No single person represents all Jews, as no single state represents all Jews.
This is another weird thing.
Oh my God.
Israel. This is a lie that I see Hassan and people pander.
What do you mean it's a lie? Wait, what? How is that a lie?
They say that Israel's going to war on behalf of Judaism. They have never. I don't believe that that's ever been stated.
Okay. So I don't think people are saying that Israel is going to war for the sake of Judaism. A lot of people say it violates Judaism and it's for the sake of imperialism and racism. And then they use Judaism as a shield when they say if you criticize Israel, it's anti-Semitic. It's not anti-Semitic to think the state of Israel is bad. When you say it's anti-Semitic, then you put Jewishness in the way, and not even like Jewishness like from a cultural standpoint. You put the fucking religion there, and you say it's anti-Semitic to fucking talk about this. That's crazy. Like your framing of it is what makes it that, and that's why the reply is no state represents all Jews. Like that's literally what happens. Blood and soil shit. It is. My former rabbi said that Israel's actions refer Judaism. Oh yeah, I mean you're definitely gonna have your far right Jewish nationalists, but like I wouldn't say, and I don't think you do either. I don't think like they're even using the faith to justify. Like I don't think Benjamin Netanyahu is like the Jewish faith says that we must take this land. I think it says. I think they use it as a fucking shield to be like you can't criticize us.
And I don't think Israel ever explains that it's like. What? I think Israel says it's a place where Jews can go.
Israel's just a place Jews can go?
No, it's explicitly a Jewish state, like ethnically.
With that slogan, we might actually have
It's an ethno-state.
You know, if that's all you're defining Israel as, is a place Jews can go. Like, sure, it sounds like America to me. Like, all right.
Jews can
I don't
go
think
there.
that Israel said they represent all Jews. I don't think that's a stance. We're like, hey, we...
Okay. Well, see, this is what I'm saying. Like when they call it anti-Semitic to criticize them, they kind of do. So it's like an implicit reality that they would have to abide by if their defense of themselves is you can't argue with us because it's anti-Semitic.
You know, displacing Palestinians is all Jewish people.
They want a state for Jewish people. What are you saying? Jewish people can't exist when you say that Israel shouldn't be a thing and the way that they act is bad? Jewish people can't exist. I mean, that's you guys saying it. No one else is saying it.
Ethan is being so disingenuous here to suggest that he doesn't understand what Matt Lieb is saying. Like he's making a semantic argument. Like I don't think Israel has said that it represents every last Jew on the planet. I don't think Israel has claimed that. They're not going to say that their most genocidal behavior represents anything to do with them,
right.
Okay? But what they are going to do is they're going to inexplicably link Israel and Jewishness together.
Yup.
So when they're being criticized, all of a sudden, they have the perfect defense. Oh, another thing I need to mention. There was a tier list. It was called the Who Can Say...
Oh, it couldn't just stay in the stinger at the beginning. We have to. All right.
BB tier list. It was presented at TwitchCon as like a panel that was just meant to be lighthearted and fun. And Ethan Klein saw that, and he decided that it was anti-Semitic.
Tier list them, and we're going to need your help to discuss and figure out who can say Habibi and who can't.
And also, we have tiers. We have Arab coded. They ask permission to say Habibi. You know, like you got like a white guy who's like, can I say it? Is it a slur? And then Love Sabra, which is they're not Arab coded at all.
I dated an Arab girl for a while whose white mom said Habibi all the time. And at first I was like, oh, okay, well, you know, she lived there for a little bit. She lived in Kuwait for a little bit. But, like, really what it was is she was the most racist person I'd ever really met in my whole life. And she was co-opting it to not sound racist to people. And it was fucked up. She was, like, racist to her own kids. It was weird. It was a fucking weird experience. That lady was so Christian. I feel bad for them still to have that mom.
Now, when I first saw this tier list, I immediately...
I wonder if she's still alive. Holy shit.
...knew what it was doing. I was like, oh, it's a play on the who has the N-word pass and who doesn't.
Right, yeah.
Tier list. Granted, Habibi is very different than the N-word.
Right.
But it is a cultural word amongst Arabic-speaking people and Muslim people.
So I think, I mean, as a white guy who's spent a little bit of time in Arab spaces, like, I wouldn't say it to somebody unless that was what we said to each other, but I've never used it in those spaces. But I've had it said to me many times. It's, you know, yeah. I was going to say, like, bro. Yeah, it's literally like bro.
Like, that is a word that's used. Habibi. It means my love. Oh, no, don't do that, Habibi. Oh, yes, Habibi. You're my Habibi, I'm your Habibi. So, yes, it's meant to be a fun way that these Arab content creators can express their Arab culture and be proud of it and happy about it. Because it's not like they have massive representation on the platform.
Making a tier list based on race. And nobody has a fucking problem with that. Okay, you
based on race? Arab coded ask perms. And then eat sabra. What the fuck?
Tier list based on race. Where's the Jewish panel? Where's the Jewish panel? Where at the top it says Jewish. It's a tier list based on Arab to Jew.
What? It isn't. Arab. It isn't. It doesn't mention Jewish people at all.
Arab, which is good. That's the best thing you can be on this. That's the best. This is racist.
It's the best thing you can be on this list? Yeah, he's a psycho, dude.
I will say that conveying information through a tier list is not the most effective thing, but Ethan should understand this principle. He did a white slurs tier list with Hassan.
Cracker.
I mean, you know what my take is.
S tier.
We can't put this as an F. Cracker. I mean, that's got to be at least a D, right?
Pale face motherfucker.
Pale face. I mean, again, I think that's an F. Hog.
So Hog is my favorite.
Hog. See, I use that for cops.
I use it all the time.
Him and Hassan feel as though they are white guys, so they felt very comfortable talking about white slurs on their tier list.
I think I'm more white than you. What do you think?
I think I'm white. Like, I'm super white.
Can you understand why Arabs might feel comfortable talking about Arab shit on their tier list, Ethan? You're the white guy. You think you're more white than Hassan.
I think I'm more white than you.
So, yeah, the white guy can say all the things that he wants, like cracker, but the Arabs can't have their tier list.
I would put him also in Arab. I know Turkish people are different.
Notice how they dropped the premise almost immediately that it's about who can say Habibi. And then it's like, Hassan, okay, actually, he's Arab. We fucking love him. He's dope. He's Arab.
Habibi is an Arabic word. That is an Arabic word, Ethan.
Funny about this whole thing is that they say Habibi in Israel. Again, people underestimate just how, like, mixed Israeli culture is. Like,
we say Habibi in Israel. Yes, Ethan. Another piece of evidence as to why it isn't anti-Semitic.
Cutting that into fuck is funny.
This is racist.
If you're not Arab or understand Arab culture at all, which is a lot of Americans, and Ethan Klein presents you this tier list and calls it anti-Semitic, you're just going to eat it up. It's not. Ethan is just proving his location on this tier list under Love Sabra because he doesn't understand Arab culture.
True.
There's a lot of Arabs who eat Sabra. There's a lot of people like me who eat Sabra. A lot of the times it's all that's in the store, and I'm gonna buy it and I'm gonna eat it, but it is not the good shit. Like,
it isn't the good shit. That's true.
Average Arab American, they're gonna go in the store and the only option they have is fucking Sabra. And that sucks that's the only option, right?
It's gentrified fucking hummus.
Communities and distribution facilities are not widespread across the U.S. So what are they left with? They're left with a common, relatable, shitty...
Where might someone find good hummus? Your local Arab store. Wherever your local, I don't know what kind of market you got going on, but I have lots of different... I have a few falafel places. Not a fan of hummus. Have you ever had good hummus, though? You could also make it, but then that's something like you're buying chickpeas and tahini, and it's better if you soak your chickpeas. It's a little bit of work, you know?
hummus, which is Sabra. And what's so fucking pathetic about this whole thing is after he was able to get these Arab creators banned off of Twitch for 30 days, he goes on to talk about how bad Sabra hummus is on his show.
I don't think anybody wants to prefer Sabra over homemade, like, restaurant quality hummus. You know, it's what's there. Like,
right. Yep.
Weirdly fluffy.
It is
Sabra.
fluffy.
Weird.
Yeah.
I would buy it sometimes.
We do have lots of good Arab food here. And I mean, Mediterranean food. In fact, we have just all sorts of great food. We have a big Asian culture. So, although we don't have a lot of Vietnamese, but when I was in Boise, there was a ton of Vietnamese places, and I was like overwhelmed by the options for pho, and I don't have any out here really. There's one place nearby that makes a decent banh mi, but they don't make very good pho.
And eat it. It's not the best.
The problem is with Sabra,
Mexican food goes hard out here too.
In my opinion, it's only good for the first 2 days.
For some reason, like, when you eat this Sabra shit, it just feels so much heavier. And imagine eating a whole fucking vat of Sabra. That's crazy.
Yeah. I've never liked hummus.
Oh, okay.
Well, you hate Jews then.
I don't.
And Arabs.
Yeah.
This is racist.
Yeah, it's almost like you can have a discussion about Sabra hummus being a bad hummus without it being at all related to a Jewish thing or an Israeli thing. He can have that discussion as much as he wants on his podcast because we all know his intentions aren't anti-Semitic.
This is what he did. He hit his heart hard.
What?
The Zion.
Whoa! Ethan thinks that he didn't. Wait. Ethan has the bad take on Elon's Nazi salute? What? Come on, bro. And then he did one. He heiled and sieged.
Zionism is leading to not accepting other cultures, embracing their own culture, and instead thinking that that is an attack on you.
Right.
There's this incident.
Literally the most fucking IDF shit I ever heard is fucking seeing a bunch of Arab people express their culture and then getting mad at them and feeling like that's an attack on you.
On the podcast where they were reacting to Cutie Cinderella.
I appreciate blurring her out there.
Was laughing during it. So that ended up being a pretty important wake-up call for Ethan. He made an apology video directed at Cutie Cinderella, and it was graded by a professional psychologist, Dr. Kirk Honda of Psychology in Seattle, and Ethan got an A+ rating.
In terms of a public apology, this is A+.
Ethan won't stop talking about his A+ rating.
You know, he rated my apology to Cutie Cinderella a perfect score, a perfect 10.
A perfect 10 out of 10?
Literally 10 out of 10. Go back. I can teach you how to make a good apology. I'm the best at
10 out of 10.
That's cringe, bro.
I know what a perfect apology is, lady. You fucking don't. Is my perfect apology in this PowerPoint? Dude, I got a perfect 10 out of 10. This one is actually best apology, so. Ethan, Klein, you guys, oh my God.
I was trying really hard to think about an impactful moment during this video. Like, could I do something that would really wake Ethan up? And I don't know if this came from a good place or not, but
I don't know if this came from a good place or not. It's an excellent way to preface this.
With the idea of getting Ethan's grade changed from an A to a B at least. So I went to visit...
That is so fucking dumb.
Psychology in Seattle. I'm not confident that Kirk will change his grade, but it's worth trying, and, you know, we might learn a thing or two.
Xander! Probably get pretty low marks. Unlike me, perfect score, 10. I said, hey, Lud, no wig drama. Why are you such a spineless coward of a person now that you've inserted yourself and your girlfriend into this conversation?
Okay, iDubbbz, I hear you. You're in the room with me right now. I hear you. I hear your request. I understand it. I can understand where it's coming from. And I guess have a policy that when there is a grade for an apology, I am just grading that discrete apology as I see it without taking any consideration of prior or future behavior. If you're wanting me to comment on the overall behavior or the recent behavior from the clips that you have shown me, I believe that Ethan is a good person and that eventually he will feel sorrow and will feel sorry and will apologize, and I will be there to evaluate that apology when it happens, which I know it will.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I like being like, and he didn't give me my clip! What the fuck?
Unfortunately, Kirk did not change his grade. But that's okay, because this is the internet. Anyone can have their own official apology rating system. So I'm going to rate Ethan's apology a B-. That's just based on my own feelings and my own rubric. When Psychology in Seattle was watching these video clips of Ethan, he said that it looks like Ethan could just use a hug. Now, of course, it kind of pisses me off to hear that shit, because I'm like, what are we doing? What are we saying? He needs a hug? No, he doesn't need a hug. He needs a good fucking ass whooping is what he needs. I think something that's very important to me in bringing back Content Cop is to be fair. I think that was something that was not illustrated in previous Content Cops that I think should have...
Dude, he's growing so much. This is the opposite of Ethan Klein's arc, and it's great to see. This is good. This is a good video.
Been, and probably wouldn't have left me with so much regret. Ethan deserves all of the criticism that he's getting. I think it's very valid. But I also think, at the end of the day, we should acknowledge that he's human, because he is human. And he is in a situation that's making him extremely scared, paranoid, defensive, sensitive, and I'm sure other features and feelings. In the spirit of Kirk saying that it looks like Ethan could just use a hug, I have challenged some of his most powerful haters to put down the haterade and just say something nice and charitable about him, because I think he deserves it.
I just wanted to say that I respect that you are genuinely yourself on the internet.
That's a great compliment.
I think a lot of other people respect you for it as well. I think that's a big reason why people were drawn to your content in the first place. I think that's a lot of the reason why
it got better.
Your employees chose to work with you over anyone else.
Ethan, I think it's respectable that you even began this journey to leave behind the anti-SJW crowd and step into a more empathetic worldview. I know it's not easy.
Ethan Klein, I think that when you are being goofy, when you're being silly, when you are being lighthearted, and just having fun with your friends, I think that is when you're at your best.
This is getting better.
So I'd love to see more of that. That'd be sick.
I will be
That would be sick. I agree.
reading my letter off because I don't want to sound robotic. H3 used to be the sports for good that I used to watch. I hope that one day gets back to what I remember. You were one of the inspirations for me to start creating content, so all this has stunk. I hope you really hear this, and I wish you the best.
I think Ethan Klein rocks a buzz cut pretty good, and I think he's got a good choice of facial hair. I think it's really cool what he did 8 years ago, fighting that frivolous lawsuit.
8 years ago. Yeah, I agree. Calavera Kid redeemed Say Something Nice. Ethan Klein hasn't been mean to me, so I'm not obligated to say something nice. But I will now. Fuck. Wow. Let me. I'm gonna listen to these and then we'll think of something.
That was pretty fucked up. And fighting it, he changed YouTube for the better. And I thought that was cool because I thought it was like he was fighting for free speech.
I also see the dynamic of.
Oh, he's crying. Oh man.
Ethan and Hila. I'm like, fuck. Like, it's really hard to be a couple online and see people attacking your partner, and it's like, okay, like if you come to their defense, if that doesn't always help them. Right. Sometimes that makes it worse for them.
And
Fuck, that's true.
I have been kind of slipping into a very unhealthy place where it's gotten worse and worse, and I get criticized more and more, and I get more defensive and more pulled up. A feeling of almost infallibility, that I could take anything on. It led me to make a lot of mistakes, and then when I was criticized for those mistakes, then I would act extremely defensive and nasty, and not really processing them in a healthy way.
It's a pretty good way to end that. Good job. Good job, Ian. That's a great video. If you want to go watch it again or give it a like, it deserves it. I'm glad to see Content Cop back in a good way. It was much kinder to Ethan than a lot of people want to be. But I mean, I think iDubbbz has been very genuine about it. I think it really fucking upsets him that his friend is being a bag of shit right now. Can relate. That does suck. God damn, dude. This is wonderful. I'm looking forward to more content cops. I will watch all of them. I'm real happy with this. This made me feel good about stuff. The way that ended was really great.